Hi, I'm James Schillinglaw for Insider Travel Report. I'm here at the Asta River Cruise Expo. It's the fifth one I've been at, and it's just keeps growing and growing. And it's an amazing event. We have 16 ships here, and we have three AmaWaterways ships, and that's exactly where I am right now on the new, still to be christened, Ama Sophia, with a good friend of mine, Alex Pinello, who I sailed 22 days on the Danube with a couple of years ago. And we're here on this brand new ship, and Alex is, of course, the chief sales officer for AmaWaterways. And we're going to get a little update on exactly what's going on with Ama today. And there's a lot, believe me, it's a ton of stuff. We've been writing about it, but we're going to give you sort of the lowdown right here about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Alex, first of all, it's wonderful to see you, as always.
Absolutely. Too
Yeah.
bad we're not cruising together
I
this year.
know, not this year. We have to do this, change it up next year, and I'll go on that. But in fact, I am going on an Emma Waterways cruise, but you're not with me, so that's interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll be hosting on Ama Sophia after this.
Yeah, and I'm going to get a chance, a couple of nights to see the christening of the Ama Sophia, and I definitely want to walk around this ship, and it's beautiful. Let's start off with that first, because one of the striking things that has happened with Ama Waterways recently is you've really changed your whole decor and color scheme and everything else, and ship is sort of evident of that. You'll see a different color now on Ama Waterways ships, right?
Absolutely. And James, it's truly been an evolution, right, to the brand. And many things have evolved or changed, whether it's the colors, as you mentioned, the logo, the font. But one thing, James, that has not changed and will never change, and really that's, you know, who we are, our DNA, how we make our guests feel, the people, really the support that we have to the trade. That these are things that have been part of AMA since we started, 23 years ago, and it's something that's never going to change. Guests are on board, here at the Asta River Cruise Expo with three ships, the Ama Sofia, Ama Prima, and Ama Veneta. And as you can see, this is our brand new ship. She's absolutely stunning. But something that you may have noticed, and you will notice when you cruise with us next week, is also some of the product enhancements that have come with the
Okay.
rebranding.
So some examples are what?
Well, some examples, and we're sitting here in one of our beautiful suites, but it's our onboard amenities,
Okay.
from Nespresso machines in the staterooms, from the upgraded linens, the upgraded towels, the bathrobes. I mean, really, really a huge difference, and also our culinary experience from our wine options. We have over 32 different wine varieties that we serve throughout the cruise. We really have elevated the culinary and the food. We've started a pasta lunch in the chef's table that's available.
I like that idea. Well, luckily, maybe see that a little bit when I'm on the Danube with you next week.
Absolutely, you definitely will, and you don't have to make a reservation. It's first come, first serve. And then we also have the chef's table pairing menu that's available each evening, and for that you make a reservation. I mentioned the wines, 32 different varieties of wine served throughout the week. We have complimentary soft drinks that we offer throughout the day. We have, and again, the excursions and all the excursions that we offer, and they're all included, right? So it's a really nice way to really immerse yourself in the destination without worrying, just going on one included excursion and having to pay for the rest.
No, that's
All
great.
the excursions are included.
They're all included now. So there's a lot more inclusions, a new decor, a new kind of ethos for it, but the same service and the same, people first mentality. So I'm happy to hear that. Now, one of the things is, how many ships do you have right now? And you're going to be expanding dramatically in the next few years, right?
We are going to be expanding dramatically, and we're adding 8 additional ships between now and 2030, and we're going to have over 44 ships by the time we get to
Did you
2030.
ever think you were going to be doing 44 ships? Yeah, and you're the chief sales officer. That's more stuff you have to sell, you have to fill, but I guess you're doing pretty good.
Absolutely. No, we're super, super excited, but we're grateful for the partnerships that we have with the trade. I mean, our travel partners really, love our brand as much as we love them, and we'll continue to, create wonderful programs for them, to really make it easier than ever for them to, to sell and market our brand.
You know, now, so where are you in the rivers today? And I know I've been trying to get on. Hopefully I'm going to get on the Columbia River Cruise in May. I'm still looking at that and trying to finally do it because I lived through all that as you rolled that out. It was a brand new river. Nobody had ever been there, and it's just an amazing product. But you're in Colombia now. You're in Southeast Asia with the cruises on the Mekong. You're in the Nile right now. It's a little. Are you still sailing in the Nile?
We're cruising. We're
Oh
cruising in the
wow.
Nile. Yeah, we did cancel or suspend our Jordan Dubai extensions,
Okay.
but we have our cruise product and with land in Cairo, and for those that want an extension, we can do an extension in Cairo or Alexandria. So we asked our guest, and we were looking at the departures of March 5th and March 7th. And we reached out. The March 5th guests were already in Cairo,
Right.
and we talked to them, and they're like, no, no, we want to
You
cruise.
want
We
to
want
cruise?
we want to cruise. And they said they're having a wonderful time. I did the Nile cruise 2 years ago. I've never felt safer, and they feel the same way now.
Right.
Egypt is safe. Egypt is a safe place to travel.
I always felt safe in Egypt, and there is kind of a dividing line, like right there. It's where, and everybody who's trying to get out of that region is going to Egypt, actually.
Absolutely, and we have currently we have two ships, in Egypt, and we're going to be expanding in Egypt, adding.
I know you're adding new ships there, and of course you're adding a lot of ships here in Europe, and you're pretty much on every single river right now.
Absolutely. I mean, our core is definitely going to be the Danube and the Rhine, but we're also, in France, we're on the Seine, we're on the Rhone, we're in Bordeaux. We feel that, we want to provide, like Danube and Rhine, perfect for first-time cruisers, but then, they evolve. They want to go, maybe they go to France, maybe they go to Douro. You mentioned Vietnam and Cambodia with, currently we have one ship, the Amadara.
Right.
Now we're adding a second ship, the Amamaya. So we have, of course, the two ships, soon to be three ships on the Nile. And then, we also have the Chobe River with the Zambezi
Which
Queen.
I was lucky enough to do many years ago. It was an amazing cruise.
It really is an amazing cruise. And you mentioned Colombia. Hey, I haven't done Colombia. Maybe we should cruise together in
May
Colombia.
20th, let's do
Two ships,
it.
the Ama Magdalena and the Ama Melodia, with the 7-day cruises from Barranquilla to Cartagena and the reverse, and it's been so popular,
Yeah, I
James.
can imagine. It was so popular they can't put the journalist on now. It's fine. I mean, I understand, and I was like, we've been waiting for so long because there was, obviously it was a new river, whole infrastructure you had to build around that. I mean, Rudy Schreiner, you really wanted to do that, and it happened, right?
It sure did, and it's been, again, a dream come true for many, and it's a great place to travel. It's closer to home, so many of our North America, guests, and I can't wait to do it because people are getting off that product saying it's just incredible and it's a wonderful way to experience that part of the world. Two beautiful ships. Ama Magdalena carries 60 guests. Ama Melodia carries 64 guests.
Well, that's amazing. Any other new rivers to cross here?
Well, not new rivers, but we're introducing a new product, and we're calling it City Escapes. And City Escapes, we're going to start in November, later this year. We'll have about 20 departures in 2026, growing to 30 in 2027, and possibly 50 in 2028. We keep growing. But what City Escapes is we're taking itineraries on the Danube, on the Rhine, and on the Seine. And again, as you know, we're expanding our season, right? And now we're traveling during some of the shoulder months,
Right.
where maybe some of the smaller towns are not as active and not as open as during other times of the year. So what we're doing with these City Escape cruises is we are, visiting the larger cities, right? And we have uh, expanded our port time, our time that we spend in each of those cities. So we have enhanced activities, programming, shore excursions, culinary experiences. We have museum visits. We have, for instance, you'll be able to, have, a much longer time in these destinations to really allow for a truly more immersive and inclusive experience in those areas, to really make for, and it's a perfect time to travel because, right, things are not
Oh,
as
sure.
things
No,
are not as
certainly.
crowded.
Yeah.
Things are, they're more welcoming. We're doing some enhancements on board as well. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful program, and I think it's going to be very, very successful.
It sounds great, and and you seem to be these days. You're almost cruising year round now in Europe, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. We're, this year we literally started cruising in January. I'm sorry, in February, and soon we're going to start cruising in January as well. So pretty much you're going to be cruising, finding a river cruise year round on AmaWaterways.
Well, it's funny because they purposely scheduled the Astor River cruise in March when before in the old days when before the season, and now the season sort of crept up before it now. So it's kind of interesting because you're running cruises even before.
Absolutely. We keep asking ASA, can you make it a little earlier, a little earlier? Because I mean, yeah, now, and I mean a lot of others. I mean, the seasons are expanding, and I think it's important. But I mean, but this event is such an important event for us personally and for river cruising. If you wanna, if you're serious about selling river cruising, uh, you you shouldn't miss this event. And as you mentioned earlier, I mean, 1,600, 70% new this
I
year.
saw that.
Yeah.
It was very interesting. A lot of people have recognized that river cruising is going to be a lucrative area for them to book, and they like it themselves. So I think it's been a home run for Asta, that's for sure, and it's certainly been a home run for the river cruise industry because you get a chance to see all the brands here, almost all of the brands, and you get a chance to understand what river cruising is all about. And for you, you have a lot of travel advisor programs. I mean, you've been famous for. What do you have now? What are anything new on the horizon for to help travel advisors sell?
How much time do we have? So we no we of course we always recommend our travel advisors to go visit the travel advisor portal, right?
Right.
That's where they find everything that they need to market, promote, sell. All the marketing material, all the promotions are there. Recordings of our webinar Wednesdays that we do every Wednesday. A lot of wonderful promotions. Right now, our retail offer is the complimentary pre or post land extensions. But we just launched a limited time group offer that we're running through the end of March, where we're doubling the group discount combinable with the retail promotion, doubling the gap points, and even providing prepaid gratuities. So it's a great, great group program. It's called the limited time group offer, and we're running it through March 31st of this year. In order to you book the group by March 31st, and you book your delegates into the group by June 30th.
Well, you've been doing a lot of great offers like that hopefully stir more bookings, and that combined with the renew even more interest in the trade in booking river cruises and outside, and it really is amazing how it's grown. Anything else you want to tell our 125,000 travel advisors about AmaWaterways today?
First of all, on behalf of our new CEO, Catherine Powell, which hopefully you've all, or eventually will get to meet if you haven't.
Oh, I've met Catherine a few times over the years. I sat at, last night. I sat next to at dinner with her.
Yeah, so she's great, and she definitely wants to meet more and more of you. But my recommendation, James, is if you're not working with your BDM, if you're not working with your business development manager, you're really leaving opportunities on the table. They are your business partner. They're there to help you grow your business. We have 16 in the U.S. and 4 in Canada. Reach out to them. They'll help you put together the perfect marketing plan. They'll help you put together the perfect group promotion. They'll help you do a cruise night, a virtual event. They'll even do the presentation for you. All you have to do is show up either with your credit card machine to take the bookings. It's that easy.
It sounds like an automatic, right?
Absolutely. So if you don't know who your BDM is, you can always go to our travel advisor portal, or you can send an email to salesengagement@amawaterways.com, and we'll put you in contact with your BDM right away.
Fantastic. Well, Alex, always great to see you. We do have that long cruise we did, and we've gone on cruises a few times. I really enjoyed it. That was the first time I was down in the lower Danube, and that was a marvelous cruise. And then I actually went from all the way from Germany all the way down to Budapest or wherever it was that we were having the River Cruise Conference, and then we kept going. And that was actually, I think it was during COVID, if I recall. That was, or just after the end, And so that was. It feels like so long ago, but that was an amazing cruise, and you were a great host.
Great. Yeah, it was a great cruise. It was, one of the first cruises after COVID, and we did from Budapest to Giurgiu, the lower Danube, which again, really, really popular destination for us. But I guess next time, hopefully, it'll be in Colombia.
Let's work on it because I definitely want to go to Colombia. I've had for a while, but I got a few other ones. I haven't done the Nile in a long time, and I said to Christine Karst for years that I would go to them on the Mekong, and every year they had it on one weekend, the week that I can't do it, which is when Virtuoso is in session, and they would do that, and I kept saying I'd go. I almost was going to do it, but those are my aspirational, those three I think now, because I have done most of the rivers of Europe now, and a lot with AmaWaterways.
Nice. And don't forget Africa. You have Africa.
I have to go back for that one. I did Africa before Rudy and Christine did it, because they just discovered it. And I did it with one of your other executives, Gary Murphy, his wife. I went with her,
Yeah.
and your CFO.
Okay.
And we had a marvelous time, and I was like blown away by all the things they said. It's a different kind of river cruise, but you were one of the first that I knew. You know, when Christine at the time, I said I'm trying to organize one piece in Africa as I was going to a conference, and she said, "Well, why don't you do a river cruise?" And I'm like, "You have a river cruise?" And it was this Africa on the Chobe River, and it was just amazing. And again, I'm so glad you still have that. Is that still popular?
It's extremely popular. It's really the best way. It's my favorite trip I've ever taken. You know, and I've traveled quite a bit. It's my favorite trip I've ever taken. It's hard to compete with the animals, and it's the best of both worlds. You have the safaris by water, safaris by land. The cruise itself is 4 nights on the Chobe River. We're introducing some 3 nights as well in conjunction with the land programs. We have, you know, whether it's Cape Town, Johannesburg, Victoria Falls, you know, we have, you know, the Tinswalo Lodge, Kruger National Park, Robles Rail. It's just the best of both worlds, and the ship carries 28 guests, so it's like you're really traveling in your own private yacht, and it's the only ship, James, that does not follow a nautical schedule. It follows the animals.
That I remember that was and you're going out in little skiffs and you're going to go see directly on the animals. So you think Europe river cruising is all about Europe, and it is. It's amazing places in Europe. There's all these exotic things like Africa, well now Colombia, and it really is. There's so much more to river cruising. Alex, again, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today, and as always, it's great to see you.
Always a pleasure, James. Hope to cruise with you soon. Thank you, everybody.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.